My second right. Ever in a farmland? You go back and thing out west of the United States, and you go to areas where 12-year-old kids are driving tractors for a farm thing, right? And it's not unusual. It's not also not unusual seeing very young people out driving cars, trucks, farm trucks. 12, 13, 14. Oh yeah, it's common. And they also ride horses and cattle and ranches and the whole thing. It's also not uncommon in going to the Middle East and finding 12-year-old kids running around with AK-47s. They may have a Quran under one arm, but they're slinging over an AK-47 on the other one. That's one of the things about when the U.S. troops went into Iraq. A lot of children were carrying around AK-47s. Where do they get them? Oh, they got them from their schools, where Saddam stored weapons of war and explosives and that in schools. Americans would never bomb those school things. But in many parts of the world, having children carrying around weapons is considered normal. Having 12-year-old kids in the United States carrying around with rifles is not considered normal. But if you go out in farmland and ranches, you will find out, especially people on horseback, children on horseback, they have a rifle on the horse or a pistol, and they know how to use it. Oh, they're awful young. Well, that's why, and the district is Republican, so big deal. And none of them are the ultra-conservative from the cities. These are the guys out there. The old saying, what was one of the movies? Wilson's War. One of the thing. There's nothing different. There's nothing like in my districts. There's two things in my districts they love. Their guns and their Bible. Yes, their guns and their Bible. Guns make people free. And guns keep a lot of wild animals away from cattle. The four-legged kind, like wolves, coyotes, or the two-legged kind, like the rustlers. Yes, cattle rustling is still a occupation. And you're not going to steal the whole herd. You're going to go in to fill a trailer up. And children 12 years old with rifles can do as much damage to, well, they don't have to shoot the person. They're going to shoot out the tires. Yeah, you know. But there's this little problem of children, 18 years old. They're considered. Are they considered to be children? Adults are 21. Okay, 18 years old or 18 years old. They can, 16 years old. You can join the National Guards and carry a machine gun or drive a truck. But I think a lot of this is funny because it is funny. 18 years old, go out, get an assault weapon, put a 50-round magazine on it, and then go in there and turn a bunch of children into mush. I do mean mush. And this is a big thing. A lot of people in school districts are really looking at that. And they're looking at two things. Well, Republicans say, well, they should have the right to bear firearms. You shouldn't, it's up to the store owner saying, no, we're not selling that to you. Yeah, it's up to a store owner saying, no, we're not selling you that automatic or that assault weapon. I don't have to sell it to you. What do you mean? Well, there are, you people with Ford cars. You want to lose that Ford car, let one of your customers do some mass murdering and see what happens. Yeah, you have a business. The ATF will simply walk in there, cancel that, and confiscate everything off the wall or in storage. They have that. Well, they don't have that right. Well, try to fight them in court and see what happens. They bring everything in front of a federal judge and possibly prosecute you for sending a weapon to killing a lot of people. And that's your second. Your second to bear firearms. I'm quite that, and there's just that reason there too. You can't trust the government. Can you trust your local government? No. And you can't trust the citizens. You can't trust the citizens. That's right. What do you mean you can't trust the citizens? It's the same people who get in the cars and drunk and drive, or drug and drive. And yes. Neighbors. Studio next door. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing over there. I don't want to know what they're doing over there. They have a lot of flowers. They have a lot of food. They have a lot of mechanical stuff. Sometimes they even photograph a car or two. Models, yes, new models. No, it's 4 wheels. Yeah, those type of models. But yeah, well, they have strange sounds. But back to the thing, my right to bear second. When I was 18 years old, I was not allowed to. I lived in the country, you might say, but we didn't have guns. I went to high school, which was sort of another part of a more richer part of the not town and that. In the high school, they had a rifle and pistol range. Okay, kids can't hold guns. You're talking freshmen bringing in their little guns, rifles and pistols. Freshmen. And it was considered normal. And all that thing. They take their guns and put them in the locker, and you don't have to worry about anything. Did people break in those lockers for guns? Nope. Did they kill each other? Nope. Nope. When did they stop doing that? When drugs became around. Then you had, when drugs started appearing in school, they eliminated that. And that thing. But now guns are illegal in school. In that school? Oh yes. You got a pretty good cross section of people, and they even clamped down on while going even before all this shooting in schools. You had to go through a secure door to get into the place. Doors were not left open. Maybe when I was there and going to school, they were, but doors are not left open because you did drug trafficking. Drugger bringing stuff in, or somebody going out and to their car for something. You stay inside unless there's a fire alarm. The old saying: if you leave school and you go across the street to McDonald's, I guess it is, you may have a hard time getting back into class because of drug trafficking. But yeah, now so 18-year-olds can buy guns. Not in our state. No, it's 21, and it should be in other states too. Even the cattle ranches way in the middle of that thing. To buy a firearm, you should be 21. Now, if you want to carry it on your ranch, yeah, you can do that. But you don't want to be carrying that into town. The police will arrest you. Yeah. If the town says it's 21, it's going to be 21. Well, the state says this. Oh, I got news for you, buddy. Sue us and see what happens. Of course, you'll lose. But again, you've got this big problem with guns. And it is prevalent. And you've got a whole different... It's not gun violence. It's those who commit violent crime. Those who are violent out there. The last thing you want to do is give a psychopath a knife or an axe, because they will use it. Children are carrying guns to parties. Yeah, in our state, if you're under 21 and you have a weapon in your hands, the police can shoot you, which they have done in Chicago quite a few times. A lot of kids who carry guns, and the police come over and say, do you have a firearm? And the guy says yes. Well, turn it in, because there are at least 5,000 people that last year that could have been taken off the streets. They took the guns. There are special units in Chicago that actually are out there looking for guns, and they can usually spot somebody who's not doing something right, profiling the guy, and grab him, shake him down for, gee, you got drugs on you? Do you have a firearm on you? Gee, you just lost this. Here, give me your hand. And they fingerprint him. Yeah, right there. We know who you are. We expect to sometime pick you up for your crime. And we will put it down that you had an illegal firearm. Hey. So you either be a very good person, or when we pick you up, we're putting down that you had an illegal firearm. And you didn't have a FOID card, and you broke state law, and I don't care what your lawyer is like. And Chicago cops can be extremely mean, especially with those people that don't have FOID cards. Now they're fingerprinted on the site. They might even start doing DNA on the persons, which is like, you got a criminal background. You may find yourself in the filing system long before you really should be on the filing system or want to be on the filing system. But it's their right for a second. It's your right to, when you become of legal age at 21, can go out and buy a gun. Now they're beginning to red flag you, and there's a lot of people who are not going to get firearms. Gun dealers in numbers have shrunk way down. The city of Chicago put pressure on a lot of gun stores, even around Chicago, as forcing them to get shut down. But yeah, it's your right for the second. That's right. And if you misuse it, ATF can come down on you hard. If you use a firearm in a robbery, that's armed robbery. Armed robbery is not more than just robbery, it's armed robbery. And those years can pile up on you. So, the thing, I know some gang members who won't carry guns. And I told them, you bother me, you don't have to worry. Your guns are not going to do you any good. But again, it's your right to bear firearms. I know the Democrats don't like it, and the major cities that are really having problems are when they're run by Democrats. It seems to bad guys cannot be really bad. Well, they're thieves, they're rapists, they're car thieves, they're arsonists and everything else, but they're not, they're still good boys. Or the Republicans say, hang them. I'm here, something is that the Republicans are against the, diehard Republicans are against the women having abortions. I'm waiting for some 18-year-old girl to walk into a gun shop in Texas and pick up an assault weapon and go to their capital, state capital, and when the Republicans are in session, show them what a 50-round clip of an AK-47 can do to you, to the Republicans in there. They're not quite sure when they're laying bleeding on the ground and being torn apart by an AK-47 bullet. What is it, 7.62 millimeters or something? You know, that size, I guess, or that size. Get splattered. You get a long enough distance where that bullet can spin, say from an AR-15, 14. You get the 223 is made to spin at a certain distance. It doesn't go straight; it starts spinning, and that really tears a body apart. What can I say? Would I say an 18-year-old girl who can't get an abortion, her life is basically over with? Oh well, something like the COVID-19. All those Republicans who refused to get a shot, who said this COVID-19 is a joke. It's plotted by the government to, yeah. What happened? What, 500,000 of them died? It's like not the brightest of the planet are Republicans. Yeah, that's kind of like bad. But again, it's my second. Do I go out shooting? Even cotton stuff in the ears and the mufflement like this, I still feel pain. Even at 22, there's something about the crackling. It's like, I don't know how many other people have a problem, but I have a problem. It's the loud noises, you know. I even like hammering. It's like, oh boy, oh yeah, pounding nails. I don't know. It's like pounding my head, I guess. Well, eventually that will stop. Why will it stop, sir? Oh, you're gonna die of old age, which is pretty good. I like. It sounds pretty good. Die of old age. You know? But that's my second. And do I have a firearm? No, I have a crossbow. They're quiet. I got the little hand pistols and the regular crossbow. I said, well, you're going to come after me. I'm going to put one into your leg. Yeah, I'm going to put one in somebody's leg. Why? Well, if you put them in this torso, they may be wearing a bulletproof vest. Okay? A lot of crooks do now wear bulletproof vests. But if you stick one into his leg, that's going to hurt for a long time. Of course, he may just put, 50 rounds of his AK-47 in me. But, yeah. I don't know. They should have passed it. They should have said, well, we're going to do a red flag. Well, that's nice. But then do a background check. But if you don't have anything in the background, you're going to come up clean. Like the drug dealer. Unless he's been in the hospital for dealing drugs or getting drugs and that, he's clean. He may not be fit to drive a car, but he's clean. He may not be fit to drive a school bus, but he's clean. He might not be fit to fly an aircraft, but he's clean. I don't know. I would really watch when you start speaking the second. You don't have the right for the Second Amendment. If I don't have the right for the Second Amendment, then you don't have the right for the First Amendment. If I lose my right to have a Second Amendment, You see these lights? Yeah, you won't have any lights. Then you're going to wish you had a gun.